Yesterday we saw the series be tied 1-1, and today it's going to be decided. We're going to see what's going to happen to Amaz.
Yeah, definitely. And I think games are actually about to start soon. So we're not gonna, do too much small talk, and we're gonna jump right into game when it is ready. So I think they're ready soon, right?
Yeah, I believe the mulligan screen is actually already loaded up, so why don't we just cut the rest of the small talk and get straight into the action?
Sure, let's go ahead. All right. So we have GC playing for the C team, and we have we have Binglan, Fei Hu, which is basically we'll just call him Ice Blue because it's basically Ice Blue Flying Fox, which is a really cool name, but it might be too much for us. So we'll just call him Ice Blue here.
Yeah, so Ice Blue is going to start off with, it looks like a shaman deck with Violet Teachers incorporated. This is starting to gain more popularity in the recent times. He's going to go up against a pretty normal Druid, which is basically like the class to feel out your opponents, it seems, in these best-of-5 tournament matches.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, picking Shaman against a Druid is pretty decent because, you have this hero power which can just make totems get more control a lot. And, it really just outpaces the Druid hero power in terms of like board control and tempo and whatnot. So I definitely give the edge to the Shaman here. And of course, all the cards usually trade for 2 for 1 at least. So yeah, it just depends on how this plays out.
Yep. Now, GC did say that Druid was his favorite class. He feels the most stable, so it doesn't, surprise us at all that he's leading off with it. It seems like most of the C players really like the Druid class overall. Versus China seems like they're flexible to start however they want. Sometimes they start Zoo, sometimes they start Miracle, sometimes they start Shaman. So we've seen all kinds of variations opening from China versus Southeast Asia. Seems like they're really set on Malfurion.
Indeed. So let's see. So it's the Shaman's turn right now. I guess you just told him to pass.
Yeah, there's with the coin and the Violet Teacher, that opens up a lot of possibility to flood the board. I wonder if he's playing other real tech cards, maybe like Bloodlust and stuff like that to kind of really get a finisher going. Those kinds of decks, as much as people say that they're gimmicks, if you learn the ins and outs, they can be super powerful as well.
It was interesting. I mean, if he put down the Thanos last turn, the Heartstone Golem would have gone out, but I don't know how good that is. But Thanos is definitely a good card to keep, right?
Yeah, especially for the lightning storm, which is whenever you need spell power with lightning bolts, it can remove Azure Drakes for virtually free, and it's really, really nice way to combo stuff. I think he's contemplating whether he's put out this Violet Teacher right now, and yeah, you can put it out right now because there's not real big threat and pressure. He doesn't really have many spells to follow it up with, though, but I think he wants to put out a nice Argus to create a strong board.
Yep. But I'm pretty sure that GC is gonna. Ooh, that opens up more options.
Innervate.
I don't think you can innervate anything, right?
Yeah, because the threat is still the Violet Teacher at this point. You don't want him to be able to build up a board too much, and that also actually telegraphs a lot of what kind of deck this is.
Oh, it's interesting. There's 2 BGHs. I just noticed. There are 2 big game hunters. Wow.
No, that's right.
Seems like
so he's gonna be.
Do you think he's expecting like a handlock in the first match?
Well, you're the one that's been playing on Asia server a lot, Amaz. Even streaming right before that. Have you been seeing lots of handlocks or even cards worth BGHing?
Well, to be honest, I'm still ranking up and like rank 3 or whatnot. But yeah, all the warlocks tend to be Zoo, so can't really tell on the most top level. I definitely think that GC just thinks that he's gonna go up against a handlock first. So I mean, that would make sense to me. Oh, it ends up using the swipe and innovate. Okay. Keeps the Heartstone Golem alive.
I don't know. Like, I feel like you could accomplish the same with Wrath, but I can understand the concept that you want to use Wrath as a cycle card instead. But you are using 2 cards instead, so you're not really saving much by using the swipe instead of the innervate, or instead of the Wrath. Also, because swipe is really good if you have spell power, and it can really destroy your shaman's board with the 2 health totems. Kind of surprised with that move, Amaz.
Oh yeah, me too. I certainly would have either traded my Heartstone Golem or used the Wrath as well. It seems like Feral Spirits is going to be good here because next turn we can hide a Matitide totem behind. That seems like a very good turn.
And what's really nice too, just to follow up your point, is that he just used a removal spell. So it's going to be, the chances of him being able to directly remove these wolves much easier is more difficult now that he just saw a spell and an innervate come out of his opponent.
Right, and Shaman cards are so good. They really want that card draw. They want to draw all their cards. So Mana Tide Tome is definitely going to be a big threat.
What's also nice is that it plays on curve, so that way next turn he'll have overloaded, but he can still drop the Mana Tide, and the following turn he can fire Elemental. So it seems like Ice Blue is planning his next few turns out, and we're going to have to see if GCO is going to be able to respond accordingly.
So what does the Druid player do here? Do you just, put up a taunt? Is the charge that good? A charge could be good. I mean, realistically, Druid is, if it charges, you're like guarantee a 2-for-1, kind of, not really. But I don't know, if it's gonna be a taunt and the Hex Kiss kind of come out with 3 mana, that would suck a lot.
Yeah, I think that's what he's really afraid of. Putting out that Hex means that, these wolves are just going to continue to destroy the board, while he might even have a chance to roll something like a healing totem, and then all of a sudden you just basically gain nothing. So clearing the wolves is usually a priority. It just kind of stinks because now he's giving Shaman complete initiative on the board, which is something that they're comfortable playing from, even if the wolves die.
Alright, so a 3 mana turn from the Shaman here. I'm pretty much gonna expect a Mana Tide if he doesn't draw something, anything else.
Yeah, he just used a Wrath. Oh, well, okay. Kind of overloaded. The alternative is rolling a Totem.
Yeah.
Which just feels kind of inferior because he is a head on cards, and the Mana Tide also kind of forces a certain response. If he has Wrath number 2, that means he has 4 mana to drop something, which means it won't be able to challenge too much of what you can do with the Fire Elemental as well. So at least it kind of maybe plays into that.
Yeah, this is actually really good. So, next turn 7, it's probably going to be a Yeti and a BGH. I'm really not sure. Yeah, you need to hold on to these BGHs against a Shaman. Yeah, that's not going to really do much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Fire Elemental doesn't really solve this problem.
Yeah, interestingly enough, that's probably one thing that he wasn't exactly accounting for, because in turn 5, maybe if he had a clean turn, he could have dropped that Druid of the Claw instead. So yeah. I think Ice Blue may have been baited on that, and that could have been what GC was also planning slightly in his head.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Using the Argus on the totem, just 1 step extra turn, and it does do 1 damage. So the Fire Elemental does clear it up very cleanly.
Yeah. And if another target comes out, he can even use a Rock Biter and the Fire Elemental in combination to spread out 6 damage. Which might actually be the case with this Yeti coming out.
I think he was actually, trying to go like, oh, if I put an Ash-Drake and I top like a Lightning Bolt, I can be a god. I would be like the best, but nah.
Very few of us can get away with that, Amaz.
Yeah.
Very few.
Alright. I'm pretty sure the Fire Elemental is going to come out along with the Rock Rider, I think. So that's a pretty.
This is just such good value. Like the quality of cards, and especially the BGH coming out here, also screams that Druid doesn't really have a good quality hand. He's holding situational cards, and he feels like he needs to dump to control the board. So as a Shaman player, if you have things like Alakir and Hex in hand, I have to be feeling really comfortable. Don't you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. The Shaman, the Druid just needs help. Oh, that's not a card you want to see. That's not a card you want to see.
Well, it does enable him to play everything, but just like you said, Amaz, this doesn't really improve his position whatsoever. He needs something like Ancient of Lore.
Ancient of Lore is like the one Druid card everybody needs at like turn 7 or turn 8, right? And it's interesting because the Shaman, just now, Ice Blue decided to Rock Biter the BGH instead of Rock Biter the Argus to the Yeti, which is a very good play in my opinion. Just keep that body, make your opponent make more moves that are bad for them. So
yeah,
that was a really good move.
GCO might have to feel like he uses hero power to clear the Fire Elemental. I think he's really afraid of. He can just take the trade as well. But it's always scary with the Fire Elemental because it just has so much damage potential with everything else. So I guess he's going to pick up the free card instead, which is also a way for him to just climb back in the value game. But he has to outvalue a Shaman, which has so much firepower.
Oh, wow. You can actually double spell power and kill the Yeti here.
Oh my goodness.
And the Flame Tongue. Oh, maybe BGH could be used after all.
Well, I think you can't pass up an Earthshock that kills.
Yeah, I don't think so, right? The other choice is to, I guess, Unbound. which is, I mean,
I
but
like
then
the
your
option
fire
to clear the
elemental
board.
needs to trade, right? So you
Yeah.
to swipe. Yeah. Oh.
Huh?
Oh.
Wait, am
What?
I missing something?
No, I don't know. Okay.
Well, I mean, this way you get a full clear of the board, which is nice. Oh, I know. He really doesn't want to get swiped. This is plays straight into swipe
Okay.
because the health lines up. And he already saw one swipe, but hopefully he doesn't have the second.
Okay. Oh, that's not a swipe.
Oof.
Oh my god. Oh, this hand is just disgusting. Man.
Mm.
Oh.
Wow. What can you do? The wild growth, you can't even cycle it. Do you just drop the BGH here because you have nothing else to do? Passing is almost like out of the question.
Oh. This is just this. Like, you can't actually use any of these cards, right? Currently, so you might as well just use the card that at least gives you a body.
He is gonna be so sad when he sees like his opponent has the flame tongue. Like maybe he could have held through, but like there's no application of that BGH otherwise.
And that's really the danger of including BGH in your deck, right? If there are no targets, then why are you playing a 3-mana 4/2, right? That's really the
definitely. I mean, the deck preparation is so crucial at this stage of the tournament, but at the same time, like that's what you're playing pretty. You're playing pretty blind to your opponent. You're really hoping to catch him off guard. Double BGH is really not paying off here for GCO.
No, draw a card here first, right?
Yeah, we can use a lightning bolt to power up the unbound as well.
That's true.
A lot of flexibility.
Very flexible.
I think he also realizes his opponent doesn't have swipe, so he doesn't have to play as much around it. So maybe he can keep his unbound at a 2/4, roll totem, be more conservative with resources, and use a lightning bolt on, say, an Azure Drake that will eventually come out. His opponent really hasn't played anything.
Bolt is doing a lot of damage, right? So yeah. Okay. That's real. Actually, hexes are fine. Like basically nullifies your opponent's turn every time. And just go in for 6, right?
Yeah. More importantly, like what's the one card that can really pull Druid back? It's Ancient of Lore, right? So you just hex the Ancient of Lore and continue to rack in damage. Kind of surprised he didn't play the Unbound, but he probably is saving it for to combo with the lightning bolt when he wants to, so that way he doesn't get removed easily.
Yeah, that's true. But then it seems like GC is down to his last draw now. If he doesn't draw anything fantastic, it's gonna be
okay.
Oh, but he needs to heal here because as we see, the Alec here is gonna do like 10 damage. The lightning bolt's gonna do 4. Oh, actually, I think that's it, right? You can't.
Right, because if you sneak it, if you attack first with your minions, then put the Alec here next to the Flame Tongue after the minions attack, you can squeeze in that extra 4 damage. That's a great observation, Amaz.
Yeah. No,
Ice Blue has lethal.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, even if he healed himself and also innovated hero power, it would have still been lethal.
Really? That's how much damage he has?
Yeah, he has 22 damage. A lot of the lightning bolt does 4, right? So.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I mean, you could say that GC drawn really unlucky, but then at the same time it did include 2 BGs, so things like this will happen, right?
Those fringe cases do end up biting you. You don't always draw double BGH, but those cases you do. A lot of the Asians love running double conceal, but doesn't always happen. But in those scenarios that does, it feels like it stinks. So this is kind of what you want to do to improve some of your matchups, but the consistency is what's difficult to achieve. And GC pays the ultimate price for it in game number 1.
Right. All right. So that was a good game by Ice Blue. Very solid, very convincing, and we'll see what what GC needs to bring to try and